All right, hello everyone. My name is Brianna Waddell. I'm one of the co-founders of the Aura Institute, and I'm here with Laurie, who is our MBSR meditation and mindfulness teacher inside the Aura Institute training. Laurie, I'll pass it to you so you can do a little intro for yourself.
Okay, thank you, Brianna. So my name is again Laurie Cousins. I've been teaching mindfulness and meditation for almost 2 decades, and it's something that I came into because of my own inability to manage my anxiety, to manage self-regulation, emotions, and actually having a trauma background. So it was something that over the years, I've been meditating since I was 17, so many years. So over the years of going into deeper practice, I started to experience dysregulation during my meditation practices and realized that later that it was actually unprocessed trauma. And not knowing how to work in meditation or mindfulness or maybe MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction practices in a trauma-informed or trauma-sensitive way. And so what this is just a little demo to give you an idea of how to guide or be guided into a practice in a trauma-sensitive way. So that way we can work with our experience, widen the capacity of our resilience, and not have to be in a place of harm or a place of distress. So I'll go ahead and guide. So Brianna, you can find a posture, and everyone can find a posture that best supports you just right now. So this can actually be done with meditation. It's interesting. We can do this standing, lying down, or staying seated. Then you can have your eyes open or closed, whatever you feel will best serve you right now. If your eyes are going to be open, just having a soft gaze, perhaps looking at one area that is not too stimulating, and just resting your awareness. Otherwise, just noticing what it feels like to have your eyes closed. Just noticing that really delicate area of your eyelids. And now I'm going to invite you to start with a couple deeper breaths. We can do this by taking an inhale and filling our lungs. And then if you'd like, maybe even having a gentle pause at the top, and then a release with a longer exhale. You can do this with your mouth open or closed when you exhale, but again, that deeper inhale and that long exhale. This can really help to become more connected internally, what's happening on the inside, and just becoming more connected to our rhythm with our breath and our body. For many of us, we have such busy minds that we don't realize the impact on our bodies. So this can be a way to reset. But for some of us, the breath can be complicated. It can be something that we don't want to bring our attention to because sometimes we're holding it without realizing it. Sometimes we're having, it becomes maybe even complicated. So we're just inviting a gentle awareness of your breath. You can continue with a couple more inhales and exhales in your own time. It can be helpful to just feel your breathing right under your nose. And now I'd like to bring your awareness. Again, all of this is invitational. So this is just an invitation to guide your attention, but you have full choice and power at all times. So if you can, just bringing your awareness to noticing where your feet or your sit bones are making contact with the surface. Just noticing this felt sense of touch. Perhaps even noticing where your hands are resting. Instead of thinking about it, we're sensing it. We're coming into our senses. So as we bring our awareness to these places of contact, this can be a way to support a sense of grounding and regulation within the body. So as you're feeling those places of contact, and if you're not, just being curious about that. With mindfulness, we bring this non-judgmental awareness with curiosity as our guide. So instead of being judgmental, if we're doing it right or wrong, or we're supposed to, or the shoulds, we can't do this wrong. We're just cultivating awareness and being an intentional way with our attention. So now I'd like to bring your attention to notice what you're aware of right now. This could be noting your mood or feeling tone. This could be being aware of sensations. So sensations can be tingling, they can be temperature, they can be pleasant, unpleasant, neutral. This is what we mean by feeling tones. There can even be an absence of sensation. Can we bring this curiosity to what we're aware of, what's happening on the inside? And can we bring a curiosity to what narrative or thinking might be happening on the inside? So noticing if there are a lot of thoughts, noticing if these are repeated thoughts, are they familiar? Can we observe them as phenomenon, as something that is occurring, but that is transitory, meaning that thoughts are not facts because they change. So we're noticing the changing nature of our minds and also the changing nature of our body, that gentle inhale and exhale, that rhythmic heartbeat, the pulsating blood that's moving throughout our body. But we're bringing this beginner's mind as if this is the first time we've ever been aware of it. Can you allow the thoughts and the sensations or the emotions to be as they are from a place of being a curious observer? Almost like you're being this wise witness in this practice in our time together. So you may notice that your mind is wandering. It's drifting off into past, present thinking. Maybe it's kind of localizing into a particular place in your body that feels unpleasant, or just noticing where your mind is wandering. This is totally natural. It's what the mind is designed to do, so it's not a problem. It becomes a problem when we judge it, when we're trying to make it do something else. So what we can offer this mind that does want to do something, we can give it a neutral object to focus on. So this can be what's referred to as an anchor. So just like the ship that's drifting out into sea, in order to stay steady and in one place, it needs an anchor. So same with our minds. So this can be the breath, which is noticing the feeling right under your nose. Just noticing the gentle inhalation. Maybe there's a cooling sensation. And then the exhalation, maybe there's a difference in temperature. Maybe it's that delicate breeze that's coming on your upper lip. So in your own time, just being aware, if you'd like to use the breath as an anchor that you'll return your attention to, then bringing that focus of feeling your breathing right under your nose. I also want to give an option that if the breath isn't working for whatever reason, or if it becomes complicated, we can bring our attention to something else. And that can just be listening to the sounds. This could be listening to sounds inside of you. This could be listening to sounds outside of your body. Otherwise, just coming to feeling your breathing right under your nose and letting your awareness rest there. Your attention can rest to just feeling your attention, feeling this connection to the present moment with your breath. In contemplative traditions, it's very common to use the breath because it's always with us. And the body is always in the present moment, unlike the mind that tends to drift and wander into the past and into the future. This is what actually can cause a sense of unsteadiness, dysregulation. So what we're doing now is we're practicing resting our attention with our breath, cultivating this awareness of the present moment, and letting the thoughts, the sensations, just imagine them floating by, almost like a cloud in the sky. We're not getting lost in them. If we do, that's not a problem. The mind likes to figure things out and plan. We're just gently going to return to that feeling of your breath and staying with this rhythm. Allowing your body to be relaxed but alert. Knowing you're welcome to shift your awareness at any time if it becomes too unpleasant or distressing for whatever reason. You can go back to the sounds. And then if you'd like, you could come back to the breath again. This is how we're training our attention to be present. And we're also working with our capacity to be with what is. This helps us to create this sense of resiliency and tolerance. And seeing if you can acknowledge and recognize what you're aware of, and maybe even making space for it. So yes, the thoughts can come. Yes, the sensations. Yes, the emotions. But for right now, they're kind of in the background. And in the foreground is just being with your breath, noticing this rhythmic motion of that gentle inhale and exhale. I'd also like, if this feels something you're available to, what if you became aware of the relationship to your breath as an ally, as something that is a constant, something that could be a friend, something that you could have affection for, this gift of life. Just noticing with appreciation the breathing in, the breathing out. Of course, if this doesn't feel true for you, just letting it float away like one of the clouds in the sky. Otherwise, just noticing what it feels like to incline your awareness to having a sense of appreciation or affection for this relationship, for this experience, this internal experience of being in the moment, nothing to plan, to figure out, just to enjoy being with your breath. Again, you are empowered in this practice. You have choice. You can shift your awareness to the sounds. You can come back, noticing what it feels like to be able to practice in a way that is non-critical, that is non-judgmental, that you have agency, and that we're learning to manage our minds. So we're not at the mercy of them. And this is by cultivating and training our awareness to be in this moment and this moment. And for the last part of this practice, maybe we can expand on this sense of appreciation or gratitude or thankfulness of this time that you've given to yourself to be as opposed to do, to balance out our nervous system, because we live in such a modernized way of producing, doing, thinking, strategizing. Instead, we're having the other part, which is receiving, being, allowing. So noticing the receiving of this moment. And with this inclination of appreciation, just taking a few moments to recognize something that you're grateful for, something that you appreciate. And what does that feel like to turn your attention in this way to something that's good or good enough? So what we know in the neuroscience about the brain and what we pay attention to is that it grows. So if we're inclining our awareness to being with what is and allowing space for this, this grows our capacity, our resiliency. And then if we cultivate this appreciative, this positive lens, this can grow our perception and our awareness to taking in the good. This helps to steady and stabilize the nervous system and creating a more sense of safety, security, which again helps to balance and regulate the nervous system. So when you're ready, we're gently, slowly going to come out of this practice. You can wiggle your fingers, your toes. And just noticing your direct experience right now in this moment of having practiced. Noticing what's happening on the inside. When you're ready, opening your eyes if they're not already open. Okay, thank you so much, Brianna.
Thank you, Laurie. Wow, I'm like in a daze, a
How,
good daze.
what did you notice in that practice?
Um, it felt like a yin yoga class,
Hmm.
like just very restorative. My nervous system feels super balanced. Um, I feel energized and like I could take a nap at the same time.
Love that. I
Oh,
love
your
that.
sentiment too of the what did you say? Having affection for your breath. Oh, I loved that.
Mm, I'm
Thank
so glad.
you.
So welcome. My pleasure.